You're listening to Meld Men, Stories from the Journey. Right now, somewhere out there, a man is stepping into the unknown, facing his pain or the edge of his success. He's breaking through his barriers, shedding the armor he was told to wear, and choosing vulnerability over silence. This podcast is about that moment, the turning point where real transformation begins. This is Tim Lee, host of Stories from the Journey. On this episode, I'm joined by Andrew Feeley, a successful chef turned mentor who has discovered new tools to ensure his new relationships succeed where previous ones had failed.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Stories from the Journey from Meld, where we talk to men about their exciting adventures in the world of man's work. And this week, I'm joined by Andrew Feeley. Andrew, hi, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. Andrew, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am from Wilmington, Delaware, so, little state. Most of my life, you would say that I was a chef for most of my life up until the past 7 years, where I switched and now I teach culinary arts to high school students. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So tell me then, what brought you to men's work? What has your journey been?
So it was definitely brought to my attention that I was falling into that freeze phase with my fiance. I am divorced, so this is round 2 for me.
Right. And we're talking here about freeze or flight, fight, freeze, yes. Flight, or freeze, I flight. Think there's a new one which is annihilate.
Yes.
So you were sort of stuck in that freeze, yes. Which was, generously pointed out by your partner at the time, which is so often the case. Yeah.
So often the case. So it was definitely, I felt that we were starting to go down the rabbit hole again of what with my previous marriage. And I was like, no, can't do this. So my fiance had actually sent me a podcast from another gentleman who actually was with us on the Meld retreat, Dr. Christian. And I listened to his story and talking about the retreat that was coming up and all of that. And things started to click. Like, wow, I see myself in a lot of this story. Out of nowhere, I reached out to him and I sent a message. Never, ever expecting anybody to respond to me. 20 minutes later, he sent me a message. He said, hey, you got a few minutes to talk? Like, nope, no, I don't. No, I'm good. But I ended up talking to him a couple days later for like an hour on the phone and just kind of opened up. And he goes, you need to do this. You're going to pop. You need to do this.
Wow.
Yeah. So
beautiful. That moment. Yeah. Like, hell no. Do I have a minute to talk to you about this? Absolutely not. Delete my number from your phone and we're done here. Thank you.
Exactly.
That's a very familiar feeling to me too. Yeah. I mean, what do you think got you over that hump?
I just knew I needed to change. I knew if I want this to work and I want this relationship to work and I want to get rid of this feeling that I had inside of just shit. I felt like shit. That I needed to kind of do this. Nothing else is working. I did 7 years of regular therapy. Like, it was just talking in circles.
Yeah.
I needed something else. So this intrigued me. So I said, let's do it. Let's lean in and do it.
Yeah, let's lean in. That's really it. And interesting that you talk about the feeling because that's so true, right? It becomes a physical feeling. Like, I just feel shit. Like, what? How do I shake this?
Right.
How do I shake this? And it's not like a medical thing. It's not really like a physical problem, but like, oh, you're feeling it in your body and you do get sick of it. Certainly those around you get sick of it.
Yeah, like 100%. And I mean, I could feel that it was affecting other people. It was affecting my fiance. It was affecting my daughter. It was affecting my students. They were like, they would come in my door and go, Chef, what's wrong with you? Like, nope, I'm all right. But I wasn't. I put the mask on, make sure that they were good. but I wasn't good. I just put the smile on my face and kept on going with my day. But deep down, I was just churning on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And then, so how was the experience of finding yourself with a group of strange men, having to sit down in a circle and just lay it all out? Like, how did that strike you?
Well, I mean, leading up to it, I almost didn't get on the plane to go.
Yeah.
I actually physically got sick. Like my whole body was purging. Like
Yeah.
to the moment that my fiance goes, it's time to go. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. So I got on a plane. Plane ends up breaking my connection. So like, so can you imagine? I'm already getting juiced up as it is. I'm like, oh, I'm already nervous. Plane breaks. I'm supposed to be there 3 hours early. End up showing it up an hour late. I walk in the door and I'm just buzzing. Like I'm already pissed. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then, the first experiences were staring at each other in each other's eyes. I'm like,
it's awful. It's awful.
I was like, what is this hippy dippy stuff? Like, I'm going to get out of here. But, the next day waking up and then starting, I got on the plane. I said, you're going to do this. You're going to lean in and do this. Whatever it is, you're going to do this. So getting through doing the work, understanding the whole process of everything. I just like, okay, I understand this. And then having the healing walk with Owen. And after that, and we'll talk about that, obviously, it was life-changing. Completely. Never did I think would I be able to deal with one of the past traumas in my life, and have it come out of me in a way that I felt 15 pounds lighter. I felt taller. I felt like I could accomplish anything at that point. And that shit was gone. It was literally gone. And to this day, it is. I know how to deal with it. I know how to, manifest in a different way. It's pretty cool.
Well, good work. Very cool. Would you mind sharing what that trauma was?
Sure. For the majority, I'm the youngest of two. And my brother, God love him, he is very accomplished. And all his life, he was the straight A student. He was, mom and dad's golden boy. And I was a little scrappy little brother who got into shit and didn't do anything I was supposed to do and, got into trouble. And I was always put on that, why aren't you as good as your brother? Why aren't you as good as your brother? Why can't you do this like your brother? So I was 14, freshman year in high school. I remember report cards came and I got a D. I don't remember what class, but my father was irate. And I more than likely was stuff from work, but I was a punching bag that day. So he's in my face saying, you're worthless. You can't do anything, spit in my face, the whole thing, to the point where I flipped out. And picked him up and body slammed him to the ground. And he got in my face again. And it was just that ingrained in my head that you're never going to be good enough. You're never going to be good enough. So you start internalizing that. So all my life, I'm internalizing that everything that I do, relationships, I'm not good enough. Work, not good enough. My restaurant, not good enough. Everything. My marriage, first one, not good enough. My father, being a father, not good enough. So I would just shut down.
Yeah.
And just any argument, I would just blank out, stonewall, stare right through you, and just not talk whatsoever. And it's healthy. So, but that was the big catalyst kind of thing. I mean, it was always there, but that moment just kind of solidified it all. Like you're not shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man. It resonates so deeply with me. That feeling of freezing just when you got to reach out and touch something that you don't want to touch, and you just won't. You just don't. You just don't. And for a long time, it wasn't safe to, and you didn't have the skills to better to keep your mouth shut. I mean, very familiar to me and many men.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty incredible experience. And how has it felt since?
It's felt amazing. I mean, there's still stuff to deal with, right? My work is definitely not done. But the fact that I'm able to regulate and I'm able to understand what the feeling is and how to deal with it, and actually now recognize it in others and be present for them and help them understand that they're not alone. It's been an amazing transformation. I've know people have come up to me and go, "You're different. Something's up. Something's different. What's different? You're holding yourself different. You're present. Like you're here. I feel that you're here." My fiance said that the moment I walked in the door, she's like, "Whoa, what happened?" I said, we'll talk about it in a couple days. She goes, you were something, you were totally different. And I was like, I am. And it's for a good thing. So yeah, it's an amazing experience.
Beautiful. And what about, was it your daughter?
Yeah, she even noticed it too. She just because I wasn't as short, typical dad thing. Kid does something, you snap. She's like, so it's more of a long like, all right, so let's talk about this. How are you feeling? What is going on that this got to this way? And she's like, Dad, what is this? What is going on? I'm like, it's nothing. It's a lot, but it's nothing at the same time. I just want to understand better for you and for me and how we can get through it together and make the best plan going forward. So she's even that the connection is there even more. It's not I'm coming home, a typical teenage daughter, and goes to her room and locks herself in. And you don't see her anymore. It's more of how it was way back. Like she's with me. We're doing things together more now. We're connecting more, which is amazing.
That's great. And wow, what a triumph for you personally. It sounds like you really had to battle your own parents. And now, you flipped the script on that one.
Yeah. And ironically, I'm finding out more and more now that my parents are leaning on me more than my brother. So it flipped. So I'm the golden child. and lack of better words, you know what I mean? Like all that work and all that stuff, like they come to me for more than anything now. Right. And the relationship there with Dad is totally different and better. And we have had a conversation since. And
you've done that,
yeah. So
that's a big one.
Yeah, and he recognized. He goes, Andrew, back then we didn't know what we were doing either, and I replicated with what my father did to me, and I said, Dad, I understand that. I'm just letting you know how it affected me and why I disappeared for 4 days in the middle of the California desert, and you really didn't know why. And so there's a whole different type of respect and love there now.
Wow, how beautiful. Yeah. You're doing such a great job getting this concise. And now I'm like, how do I fill another 7 minutes? But maybe we don't need to. If there's some men listening, like what would you say to them?
Again, like in every experience that we have, you're not alone. We all go through the same kind of shit. I listen to men and they talk about their relationships, and there's always going to be something that's going to click in your head and go, oh wait, I've been through that. Or work, like you're constantly saying yes and you're getting shit dumped on top of you and it keeps on building and building. You feel like you can't breathe. Yeah, we go through that. We all go through it. But with this work, we're able to, again, find ways to set our boundaries, for ways to work through it in a healthy way where we're not trying to drink or use other types of substances or get addicted to gambling or porn or even shopping or just frivolously shutting down or any of that. This is such a better way to deal with your shit. And we're all in this together, and finding that safe space to be able to do this is huge. Because I don't think without how Meld came and gave us this brotherhood that I happened in 4 days, like I'm closer to some of these people than I have ever been with anybody in my entire life now. It's amazing because we're taught all of our lives, right, that we're not allowed to be vulnerable. We're not allowed to express anything. We're not allowed to do anything to feel. We're just supposed to, suck it up, push it down, move on with your day.
Yeah, and figure it all out on your own.
Right. And
figure it all out on your own. And if you don't manage, you're a failure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And really the treasure is out there in connection and in relating and in brotherhood.
Yeah.
Andrew Feeley, thank you. That was really fantastic. I would say, hey, give a plug to your restaurant, but you're done with being a restaurateur.
Yeah, unfortunately not anymore. I'm molding the next bunch of great kids to be the next restaurateurs. That is my goal now. I want them to have all the success. Let them become the next Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
That I get more joy out of that now than anything that I did in the past.
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, thanks so much for your time. Great talking to you. And you've been listening to Meld Stories from the Journey.
We want you to remember something. Your growth journey is never linear, never perfect, and never complete. Each step, each vulnerability, each moment of courage matters. You've been listening to Meld Men, Stories from the Journey, where we believe that true strength isn't about being invincible, but about being real.